Hey, it's Trevor Penning redemption music. Spencer Rattler hype Dave is dying, but get on board the Rico Payton hype train, and we're going to break down Saints practice live as it happens. Thomas, hit that intro.
Welcome to the award-winning Saints Happy Hour podcast. Seriously, this podcast has won awards. American standards are dropping every day. The show features Ralph, the best host in the world, who can barely pronounce his own name, much less anyone else's.
Marcus Marquez Callaway.
Dave is that dude who loves taking bathroom breaks. He's mad about almost anything, so make sure to lower your volume when he speaks.
Put that freaking clown meme back up that I made. Jesus Christ.
Andrew has sources, watches tapes, and knows football. He rarely shows up on time and wants to commit crimes to help the Saints win.
Sean Payton would have done illegal things. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because you know it's true.
Oh, and there's also Kevin, who is great at doing mock drafts, but struggles to actually watch Saints games or have a functioning relationship.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Anyway, grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy the insanity.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. I'm Ralph Marlborough. We got Andrew, who's got the Rona. He's with us. Dave, Thomas running the show back in Poland.
You don't know that I have the Rona.
You got like.
Well, you just rectally took your temperature. What was the reading?
why would you do that if you didn't have the Rona? People in the chat, I hope, don't have the Rona. I see we got a ton of people in there. Nola Fredo, Andrew's dad, Jason Champagne, Aldi Marino, Mike Bagger, Budrich, West Coast Saint, Big Irv. Ton of people in the chat. Before we start, remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. And I got to mention about an MVP contest, extra special tonight. If we reach $100 in donations, the MVP, not only do you get to choose which minibar bottle for my gigantic minibar bottle booze collection I'm going to poison myself with. By the way, patrons, email me extra disgusting stuff. I'm running low. We got to get the season. We got to have a stockpile of just horrible alcohol for me to drink for the regular season. DM me, ship it to me. Consider donating via Stream Elements, typing in ! donate in the chat. Click the link that appears. It costs you way less to get me drunk than Twitch. The next MVP is our best MVP winner. Every week, it's entered into a drawing to go to a regular season home game with me. That's right. Me, you, Section 641, watching DA and Carr. But Dave, tonight, whoever wins the MVP, I'm going to give him my preseason tickets to Tennessee.
Oh, I sold mine. I'm going
to give them to a pay. You win the MVP tonight. You get the tickets to Saints Tennessee. Yeah. All we ask is that you use them or give them to somebody who will use them. Please do it. And a text to speech, the best $20 you can spend on the internet. Thomas, do we have a donation update?
Yes, sir. The one and only Lizard Man won last week, and tonight Jason Champagne is in the lead with $10 donation.
I want to thank the Lizard Man. He said he wanted Jeff Duncan still a hoe on the whiteboard. He wanted Max to draw a lizard. Max drew a lizard with a gold chain, and he signed it. He put Kool-Aid because Kool-Aid is now his favorite Saints player. And he signed it like it's a real piece of art by Max. So thank you, Lizard Man. We appreciate
Dave, do you want to admit to our listeners how you feel about Jeff Duncan most recently?
It's not how I feel, but Jeff K. Adams was looking for New Orleans restaurant recommendations, and Jeff Duncan chimed in and recommended Clancy's Uptown, and I do have to admit, I think Jeff Duncan was spot on with that recommendation. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite restaurant. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I went so far as to even recommend the two best dishes they have there, which is the veal with crab meat béarnaise and the smoked soft shell crab. And Jeff Duncan replied and said undoubtedly he agreed those were the exact two dishes he would pick. So Jeff Duncan and I are, in total agreement when it comes to food.
Just don't admit that publicly.
So that's all I'm going to say.
So what you're saying, Dave, is you know what we should do is, Thomas, if you'd like to put a poll up of whether we should retain Dave on this podcast.
Well,
we'll let the listeners choose. But
I mean,
siding with Jeff Duncan
grounds for divorce.
It's a fireable offense.
Yeah.
I mean, this podcast is starting off on a bad note, and it's going to get worse because before we talk about let's do this. I'm drinking, Dave. I'm trying to get.
Hold on. Before you say what you're drinking, I figure this is a good time to say that Nick Underhill just tweeted in all caps,
Jeff Duncan.
Charlie Smith, good from 65. I'll leave that here.
Geez.
You guys have a good night. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, go feel better.
Go.
That's fake news.
Yeah.
Nick Underhill is fake news.
Speaking of UDFAs, congratulations to Thomas.
Yeah,
Sincere Haynesworth was released today. He was waived. And what that means is that he will be once again drafting first overall in the UDFA draft next year. So congratulations on last place.
I'm on a streak.
And,
Dynasty,
I will say this. Dave, once again, doesn't get a Tulane player.
I'm dying.
Deep down, we know why. He knows. Dave knows.
He knows.
No. Okay, wait. I have two things to say about this. First of all, I was just talking about this with a former Tulane player who was in my store today. I am dying to get a Tulane guy on the roster. We've had Nick Anderson, Sincere Haynesworth. I remember Derek Strozer being on the practice squad or whatever.
Who was the last? That's a great question. That's a great question for Butteridge. Who's the last Tulane player to be on the Saints 53-man roster?
Oh, that would be. Yeah, you'd probably have to go back to before my time. But first of all, Sincere Haynesworth gets injured in the preseason game, and then they waive him. They're just kicking a man while he's down. It's brutal. Jesus. But the second point I wanted to make is the Saints could have drafted Tajay. He was right there.
They should have. You could have had
Tajay.
Could have, should have, would have.
I actually, this is a little peek behind the curtain. This is kind of my job. Kind of involves this now, but I mean, I had a conversation with Tajay's agent a few days ago. I'm talking to them about maybe getting the rights to sell his Tulane jersey in our store. But Tajay, apparently Nike picks one football player on every NFL team as like their special elite guy or whatever. And Tajay is their guy for this year for Nike. And they've got a big picture of him up on the stadium. Yeah. They think highly of Tajay. Yeah. And then also we could have had Jaquan Jackson, who the Titans also drafted. We'll see how he does this season, but we could have maybe had him too. That's Ed Reed's nephew. Ed Reed's nephew. So he comes good pedigree. I can't
say anything because I love Kendra Miller in college.
Thomas, if you want to go look on Twitter right now, we could use video of this. John Hendricks, which is at John J. Hendricks with an X, just posted on Twitter. Charlie Smith making it from 65 yards.
We don't need to see that. No, we're good. We're good.
This would have been good from 75.
Oh my God.
I mean, it clears
the
crossbar by 10 yards.
I'm going to need to drink.
It looks like one of Blake Groupie's extra points.
Dave, I'm drinking tropical blue.
The air is thinner in Yeoman. I don't know if you knew this.
I'm drinking tropical
but
blue.
The air in Yeoman Stadium
didn't you want to dip early, man? Come on.
I'm drinking tropical blue lemonade and Jack Daniels, and I need more of it because Andrew just taking a victory lap is disgusting. Dave, what are you drinking?
Same thing I was drinking last week. Parish Brewery Infinite Ghost. Yeah, that's the king.
No blue raspberry lemonade.
Are you drinking like Pedialyte to keep fluids in you, Andrew?
Not yet, but definitely laying off the booze. I'm not looking to wake up with hangover and COVID.
Wait, so when you did the rectal thermometer, what was the temperature?
102.5.
That's funny.
So listen, we started off on a bad note with Andrew being excited about winning the UDFA adopted son contest.
Pull up the video, Thomas. Come on.
Again, that's bad news, but we got to start off with some worse news. The official cat of Saints Happy Hour, Minxie, has left us. She's gone to the big podcast in the sky. No. She is no more. So pour one out for Minxie if you feel like it. But Thomas,
look, hand up here. I'm gonna take maybe some responsibility for this because I feel like I put this.
We discussed this last podcast. Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, I put this out there in the ether. I made a joke about how maybe once the money sucking diabetic cat that you had was gone, maybe we could actually get paid here on the show. And well, I guess that was all
going to happen.
We needed.
I'll buy you dinner. I'll buy you dinner after the live show.
Is it too soon to ask for a raise, Ralph?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But I've had 2 cats. I've lost 2 cats. They were hard for me. I'm sure it was hard for you. I don't wish it.
Well, Thomas has
15 years is a good run. That's a good.
Thomas has created it. She can live with us forever, right? Thomas, you have the sound effect ready to go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe Minxie can make an appearance again.
I thought you wanted the video first, but
Oh yeah, you can do the video.
Right.
Taysom's got that under control.
Yeah, well, we hope.
He does not.
So we'll see. So I guess that's what interests me the most. So,
Ralph, is there a vault in your house you can stick your cat in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think your cat is touching the wire.
Not.
When you look at Demario Davis, he can blitz, he can run sideline to sideline, he can cover, he is physically very powerful.
Yeah.
And so he is a complete linebacker that does everything. But Pat Swilling was strictly a pass rusher. He was an edge guy. And that's it. And do I need to let your cat... Is your cat mad at me? She's not feeling this?
Ralph's cat will not stand for any Dome Patrol slander.
No one is beating the Dome Patrol.
Yeah. Ralph's cat is pissed at you, Andrew. As soon as you started talking about Dome Patrol, Ralph's cat started going.
There is a
Saldivari wins the starting job on the O-line. Should the live show be at Olive Garden?
It should be anywhere where your fucking cat is not. That's gonna be my vote, okay?
That's my vote. We are on a 34-week donation streak. Damn, the current MVP leader is real. Jesus. That's so fucking loud. Holy shit.
When these cats eventually pass away, it's gonna be so quiet in your house. What are you gonna do? It's gonna be weird to you, Ralph. Like you're gonna have to get used to it.
It's already weird, Dave. I feel bad.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Send that to my wife. My wife will appreciate that, Thomas.
My wife.
How did you find that? Thomas is the best, man.
Wait, hold on. Yes. Wait, I do have to say that Thomas, to be able to put that together, you had to have marked any clips that we have previously talked about Minxie. So
are you kidding? He literally downloaded any show. He's just like, I'm gonna pick this one, this one from 7 years ago. Minxie goes nuts on
I have the
every show.
cat bookmark in my collection.
I'm impressed. Thomas must have all of our episodes timestamped.
He does. It's incredible. Well. It's incredible. It's got a library of use. You talk about useless facts. Catalog of this show. The minute by minute update of this show. Jesus.
Useless.
Sometimes I think we pay Thomas too much, and then I'm like, no, we don't pay him enough. Like it's incredible.
Somebody wants a Minxie fathead.
Oh, we'll get it.
We gotta get it.
You gotta pay our medical bills off first, though. But then we'll get the Minxie fathead. We'll have the tiddly poo, coulda, shoulda, woulda. We got it all covered. So listen, we're gonna recap the Saints game, but like people in the chat talk about practice. I know, of course, Andrew's excited about his UDFA son making it for 65 yards out. Apparently, Derek Carr's not looking too good. Alvin Kamara's back. Maybe his back is healing up. He's ending his
Carr's doing a little bit better in the red zone. I think. You know what's been surprising so far, Ralph, is that like half the guys that are injured, if not more, are back. It's amazing how they miraculously recover when the team is back in New Orleans.
That's right. They got a crowd.
Like NFL teams hold guys back that have even the remote, like tiniest of nicks because they don't want to lose them, and so they err on the side of caution now. And it's amazing how that works. It's just the magic. But I will say, so yeah, a lot of guys are back.
Yeah.
But the big one is Juwan Johnson. You know, because he's been out for a while.
Listen, we'll get to him in a second, but and I'll start with you, Dave. The Saints offense looked better against San Francisco, and like Andrew said, it's looking a little better tonight. With Trevor Penning, it's the hope that's going to kill us. We give Penning too much credit when he's not a train wreck, but here we are. Dave, are we in the middle of Trevor Penning revival summer?
Oh, revival summer.
He wasn't awful.
Yeah, no. Look, yeah, they did look great. Definitely cause for some
great. I'd
optimism.
say
Okay.
Stretch.
All right, fair enough.
96-yard drive.
They look good. Yeah, I mean, come on, what do you want?
Yeah.
But yeah, no issues. I mean, nobody was able to put together a low light reel of Penning spending his entire time in the backfield. I don't know what to make of it. I was we were all reactionary last week and wanted to, didn't want him to get on the plane back home. So I think it's only fair that we say, oh my God, Trevor Penning is the greatest right tackle to ever play the game of football. That's where we're at right now.
Andrew?
Well, I did see in the practice just now that Ralph keeps calling him a weird. Are you sure it's not Udo?
Uday, I don't know. Don't trust me. You would trusting
Ralph
me? Ask him.
Uday, and normally I would see,
Uday.
but like it's Ralph saying it.
I think it's Uday. I'm pretty sure it's
no
Uday.
seating. No seating.
It's UDOH. Like I would assume that's Udo.
Udo. I would say Udo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ralph.
There's a pronunciation guide.
So he's.
Yeah.
So
look that up, Dave.
So you're saying Udo? Udo is.
He's gotten some reps with the first team at this practice. So Penning started with the first team, but he's getting some reps there. So to me, Penning's been at right tackle first team.
How do you spell his last name?
Camp. UDOH.
Kevin's in the chat. He says, I'm confusing with one of Saddam's kids. That's right. Saddam Hussein had one of the kids. It was named Uday or Udo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
But Andrew, here's a question for you.
I want to hear Ralph pronounce his first name. What's his first name?
Right.
Oli.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
That's what he goes by, Oli for short.
I know that, but that's not his real name. His full name is Oli Semika or something.
His government name.
His government name.
So here's my question for you, Andrew, and I was thinking about this today.
I'm looking this up, by the way.
Do you think the solution to the Saints Trevor Penning problem is either
Elon had a football team?
Is either Trevor Penning plays better, or the Saints are going to scheme around right tackle being a disaster? Like there's no solution that's going to come that's not on the roster right now. Would you agree with that or no?
I mean, I don't know. There's always those like 32-year-old tackles. It's kind of like the Kevin Williams signing. I know he was a defensive tackle, but it's like, there's like those guys that are semi-retired, waiting for an injury in training camp to maybe kind of give it another shot. So there's a few of those guys out there, and it's possible the Saints could maybe kick the tires on someone like that. But
like, I just don't get the sense that they're going to do a trade or anything. I think it's like Trevor Penning, Uday, or like,
God,
help the right tackle a ton.
If he's saying this wrong, I can't take it much longer.
Ralph
Oppenheimer says
right.
David Bakhtiari in all caps.
All right, I have the.
Is Butterich around? Is Butterich in the chat? I feel like Butterich would know how to say this properly.
So, Dave, you have the.
Wait, where is he? Well, I have the Minnesota Vikings pronunciation. No, wait, never mind. Keep talking.
You have the Morant.
The Morant. So the offensive.
I love how no one in our chat is confident enough to correct.
No.
Nobody knows, man.
So listen, as Dave looks up to figure out Uday or Udo, it's not that Rashid Shaheed and Juwan Johnson are good. it's that the players behind them, Andrew, are such trash. Like this Saints offense looks really, really pathetic when you take out Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, and Alvin Kamara. And they struggled the first two preseason games besides the one drive. But get those guys back healthy week one. How are you feeling about the offense? If we assume Juwan Johnson's back tonight, if you add Shaheed and you add Alvin Kamara, Olave, and how are you? And Taysom looking good at running back. We'll get to him in a second.
Oh, yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I feel better. I don't think this offense has any margin for error. So I don't think they're great with everyone healthy. But yeah, I mean, if they're missing 4 or 5 guys, then it's pretty significant to be missing them. So it only goes down from there. And I unfortunately, the Saints don't have a bunch of like young, exciting players. So
offense, they do not.
No. So, it's good that Bub Means is back. Was glad to see him make a couple catches. Yeah. I mean, Kendre Miller come back anytime. Seriously. Yeah. But they're better. Right. I would not say this offense is going to be great with those guys, but it's going to be hard to function without.
Thomas is chiming in my ear. I forgot. I'm such a bad host. These are the drinks tonight. If I reach $100, I totally forgot to do it. Truly,
I interrupted you with my Jeff Duncan.
Yeah, pineapple mango vodka.
Ugh. Sounds like something you might actually like.
Dr. McGillicuddy.
Can you give us some percentages here, Ralph?
What's the Dr. McGillicuddy? What flavor is that? What is that?
It's mint.
Oh, we're going with that. That's my choice.
Mint. Yeah. And we have Canadian black cherry is 70 proof, Andrew. The vodka is 80 proof.
Okay. Ooh. We have confirmation from both my dad and Budrich that it's Udo.
Well, so I'm gonna play it for you.
No more. Go ahead.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's make it Udo.
Okay. Ralph, the Uday thing has got to stop. It's like saying Houday instead of Houda.
It's like Uno, but
his name is Derek.
Udo.
I mean, this is our future starting right tackle you're talking about.
when is Udo going to be the starting right tackle, Andrew?
For how long, though?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately Penning will start week 1. That my prediction is that he'll go into that opener against Carolina. After that, I make no promises. I make no bets. I mean, anything is on the table.
No predictions?
Yeah.
How long did he last last year? He lasted 6 games. Yeah, he lasted 6
I don't think he'll last that long.
Dave, Taysom Hill at running back taking handoffs was amazing.
He looks even fast. He does look. What were we talking about this? He about how somebody said he looks faster than he's ever been, or he's just faster. He literally does look faster than he's ever been.
He looks incredible.
Is it possible that Pete Carmichael and Sean Payton both fucked up royally by not using him correctly?
He should just be a straight up tailback.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I like it. I like it. It's surprising to see him in that role. I mean, I know he does run, but I feel like we've always seen it's usually as a quarterback in like a direct snap situation. It's not as in a handoff scenario.
And he looked good. Like he was making the
he's fast. He's big. He's not afraid to just run and barrel through a guy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many times you can do that in a game. I'm not sure what his body can take.
That's right. He's 34.
Yeah, at this stage, I don't think he should be just the tailback. I mean, hell, put him out. Let him run into the flat, catch screens, whatever. Just get him into space. Just get him into space.
Andrew, how many touches is the right magic number you think for 34-year-old Taysom? We love him. He's amazing. He's great on short yardage. But like, what's the magic number for touches for Taysom?
I think 10. 10 a game.
Would that be 170 touches for the year? So that would be like.
Yeah,
maybe,
I mean, look, not every touch is created equal, obviously.
Yeah.
If he's running in between the tackles and taking big hits, or if he's running a seam route and taking a huge hit over the middle, those are different from a out route where he gains 5 yards and goes out of bounds. So, Taysom Hill's snaps in general tend to be more physical. And he's probably going to do a little bit more fullback stuff, lead blocking. So that's physical in its own right, too, even if he's not technically getting a touch. So, I am. I mean, he's older. I am worried about it being a more physical brand of football for him at that position. So durability is a question.
And he is really critical because I feel like, Andrew, if the right tackle is as big a mess as we fear that it will be, you got to run 2 running backs, 2 tight ends a lot. And Taysom can help you either place there.
Yeah.
So he's like, I mean, I would put him, I don't know that where you put him on the best player on the roster, but like indispensable. I think you can argue like Derek Carr, DeMario, Fuaga maybe. I think Taysom would be top 5 indispensable for the Saints.
Yeah. Nick Underhill just tweeted a really good hurry-up drive by the first-team offense. Derek Carr completed 8 of 10 passes and squeezed in a pass against tight coverage for a touchdown to Foster Moreau.
Mm-hmm. Jason Champ.
Morrow, let's go, Foster. Do we have any hayball updates?
No, the punting was atrocious Sunday night, Dave.
Honestly, I'm not sure I want either punter.
Claim that whoever San Francisco cuts, claim them. By the way, it's only $15 donated. Come on, guys, get the donations up. So I'll drink. I got a 4:30 a.m. wake up call, but I ain't scared.
Oh my God!
Speaking of, thanks to Aldi Maria for $5.
How many punts did Hayball have? I only saw 1. Did he have more than 1 punt?
I think it was 2
in the last game.
Yeah, he had 1 go for a touchdown.
People were mad at me because on me and Kevin's Friday show, I gave out my best bet of the week. I said Saints plus 220 to be the first team to 10 points, and it didn't work out. I'm sorry. Don't trust it. Don't trust a degenerate gambler. What do you want from me? Dave, I know San Francisco didn't have McCaffrey. Ayuk's holding out. Their left tackle's holding out. They have offensive line issues, injury issues.
Yeah.
But Saints shut down Brock Purdy with nothing. He did nothing. His drives. Where is your excitement level for the defense? Because my excitement level for the defense is at they're going to smash bad offenses like Godzilla on a bender through downtown Tokyo. That's where my excitement level of the defense is. Where's your excitement level?
I don't know if I'm excited about the defense, but I am confident about the defense. I like the defense. I think the defense is going to be just fine this season. It's certainly not going to be the problem for this team. I think like last week, I think we're looking at another season where the defense is going to be good enough to hold even the best offenses to, 17 points or less. And we're going to be frustrated watching this offense try to just get to 20 points.
How many bits for Thomas?
Somebody call your UDFA son.
No. Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Sorry.
Come on, Ralph. Come on, man.
Do it play again. My bad. Put me in the penalty box.
Like, Jesus, man. Like, it played for like fucking 10 seconds and you didn't realize.
Sorry.
Oh, there's an interception! How many bits for Thomas to show more skin? We only got a peek of him in the field today.
I'm glad we heard that one again.
Yeah, he almost interrupted it again.
I know.
Your boy Allen, the new MVP, 28.3 interception.
People are excited about the Secret Life of Thomas. That's a new content item. Become a patron. You get Thomas walking around in Poland in a wheat field, telling you about where he
And
buried
not only
bodies.
Wheatfield, you know.
Wait, this is a video?
With
Yeah.
only one video.
It's only with Secret
Where do I
Life of
watch
Tom.
the video? On YouTube?
Secret Life of Thomas.
You need to become a
patron.
patron, Dave.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So people in the chat, Andrew, they're calling
I
your.
don't even have inside access to my own podcasts.
They're calling your UDFA punter son Pooh Headley after his terrible game.
As they should. Look, I'll be honest. If you told me right now that Dave's UDFA son was the punter, and I'd have to sacrifice Lou Headley, but Charlie Smith makes the team, and Smith and Hayball just go head to head, and that's who determines who wins this year. I would accept that because I kind of hate Headley. Like, he sucked last year.
Who's got the courage to cut Headley though? I don't think DA does.
What isn't there some weird thing where he's dating
Australian, so we can just deport him? Can we just deport him? He's not from the country.
I feel like there's some nepotism going on. There's some connection that Rizzy has to him.
Yeah,
I think it's all the tattoos. People are just scared to get rid of him, or he might slice them.
That's right.
They're worried they're going to get sliced.
That's right.
They don't want to get shanked.
Yeah, right.
Shanked.
No, the Taysom stuff. The final thing on that is how.
The final thing on that is Taysom is fucking awesome. End of story.
No, I was going to ask you this. I'm not saying he can't be MVP because the MVP is a quarterback, but how good is
Taysom is a quarterback? Check the
no, but how good a season would he have to have? And either of you can answer this. How, and people in the chat too. What kind of season would Taysom have to have to be in consideration for the offensive player of the year? Because Michael Thomas won that one year. What would Taysom have to do?
20 touchdowns.
You think 20 touchdowns?
Yeah. I mean, he's never going to get it in yards. He's not going to run for 1,000. He's not going to catch for 1,000.
That's part of the problem.
So I think the only way, like, he's just got to be like a Terminator in the red zone.
Well, I think he can do it. I think he can do it in yardage, but he's got to put up ridiculous numbers in both categories. Like what's the highest number of rushing and?
He's not a volume guy. He's never been a volume guy.
I know.
Yeah.
I think the question is totally unrealistic. But if you're asking me, like, how is there a chance in hell?
20. I think you're right.
He's got to score 20 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's just got to be so dominant putting the ball in the end zone that some hype starts to be like, this might be the offensive player of the year. He's unstoppable in the red zone.
Yeah, because
but what if he like throws for 10 touchdowns, rushes for 10 touchdowns?
Well, there you go.
That catches 10 touchdowns. Like, does that?
That's 30. That's 30 touchdowns. 30 though. That's okay. More than I said.
Well, okay. Well, what if he like runs for 900 yards, like passes for 1,500 yards, and I don't know, like I feel like he's got to become like the Shohei Ohtani of the NFL somehow.
I don't see that doing it.
Run for 500, catch 300.
More than that.
That's not going to give him MVP.
But I think like getting 20 touchdowns, it might.
How about this? He runs for 1,000, which isn't now, but used to be sort of the benchmark for running backs. Okay, what if he runs for 1,000? What if he catches for like 800, but then he throws like 10 touchdowns too? Like he's got like.
Well, yes, then he might be that goddamn MVP.
He needs 250
that's the question.
Carries. He needs 250 carries to get.
You know what? He's 34. Run him into the ground. He doesn't have much longer anyway.
Run him into the ground and give DA that extension.
Yeah, go down with the ship, Taysom.
This question is stupid.
Brought to you by Budrich. No, I'm kidding.
Thomas, clip that. Noah Fredo says, you want 34-year-old Taysom to become prime Mike Vick. No, we don't want any dogs to die, Noah Fredo. We don't want any dogs to die.
The only animals that die on this podcast are cats.
That's right. As far as people.
Man, brutal.
It's already fun.
The other.
My dad makes a good point that Taysom is unlikely to be the Saints MVP.
I mean, if the Saints go 10-7, who's and you can't pick Derek Carr. Who would, if you can't pick Derek Carr, and I told you, you would pick Olave. You wouldn't pick Kamara?
Yes.
No, maybe.
I'd pick Olave.
I'll take Kamara.
Spencer Rattler just threw a pick to Ford Dement. So,
I can't believe.
Are we going to talk about the quarterback situation, Ralph? Is that on the? Is that on the?
It is. It was
is going a little silent. The Hainer Hive is going a little silent.
I texted you guys during the game Sunday. The quarterbacks look so bad. If anything happens,
it's almost like Carr is the starter. I don't know.
No, I was going to say if anything happens to Carr, it's Taysom time.
Shocker!
It's Taysom time. If anything happens to Carr.
Wait, so what is it? It's the Hainer Hive and the Rattler Pack?
Got them both, guys. Got them both.
Can we package them together for a trade for an offensive tackle?
7th rounder.
Is there any other team out there that needs 2 sub-mediocre quarterbacks?
Andrew, is either one of them playing their way to the practice squad? That the Saints might cut them and be like,
I think a lot of people are overreacting. I mean, look, it was disappointing from both of them. Mm-hmm. It's hard in the preseason, man. I mean, yes, you're playing against weaker defenses, but you're also playing with guys that are behind Trevor Penning that are worse than him. Hypothetically, the guys blocking for you are worse than Trevor Penning.
That's right.
The guys you're throwing to, hypothetically, are worse than Cedric Wilson. Or
I mean, the snap that by Lemieux was the worst snap I think I've ever seen in my life.
And now, was that Lemieux's fault or is that Rattler's fault?
No. I described that, Dave, you weren't on the podcast, but I described that as someone who goes bowling for the first time and bowls like rolling the ball between their legs. That's what Lemieux did on that snap. So, yeah, I mean, they were both kind of terrible. They were both good. Rattler was a little better the first time around. So they've been good in camp. The reports back are that both are promising. I still think they're promising. I'm not giving up on either guy. I think it's ridiculous to be like, oh, they suck now.
Oh,
that's an interception! We'll see how they bounce back.
Minxie.
Oh, who that golfer?
Thank you,
Minxie. $20 donation. Thanks, man.
Thank you. We're
less than 40 away.
$37 away. The wide receiver issue, Andrew and Dave, it's pretty goddamn brutal after Olave, even if we assume Shaheed's coming back.
Right. We're paltry.
It is a bad situation. Like, I feel like, Andrew, you blew my I always said, oh, you can get a receiver, you can get a receiver. You can find a guy to catch 25, 30 balls. You can find those easy. And I was like, they got Kenny Stills. He'll be fine. He'll be okay. And that theory of mine just got torpedoed to hell.
About that.
Yeah.
What's Willie Snead the fourth doing?
He's on the Dolphins put him on IR. He's out.
Mike Thomas hasn't been picked up by anybody. That's gotta be a good sign.
I said it on the post game show.
We joked about that on the post game.
Is it time to drunk dial Michael Thomas?
I don't think it is.
Would Michael Thomas come back? But
nobody
they
else
need
to be drunk dialing him.
But who? I don't know who they could get. But are you worried about receiver?
Yes,
as your second biggest worry on the team.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I mean, I would have maybe said tight end, especially with Holker. By the way, that's another
injury.
UDFA news. Obviously, Kevin took a big hit with Holker spraining his ankle in preseason before the game.
Your best ability is your availability.
That's right. But I would have said tight end maybe was in the mix, but Juwan Johnson came back today. That's big news. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say a low-key concern is the safety not named Tyrann Mathieu. And if something were to happen to Tyrann Mathieu, then like safety quickly gets terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think receiver after offensive line is probably where I would say I'm the most concerned. And, again, I still don't know how great Shaheed and Olave are in this offense. I mean, Olave is going to catch his balls. Like he's the primary read on every passing play. So he's still going to do his thing. But the blocking element, could it prevent Shaheed from seeing the field as much as he should? Receiver.
Well, they're both also, I mean, Shaheed, you're talking about your two top receivers, and they're both, I won't say short, but they're not like your prototypical
Smaller.
tall. Yeah. And that's disappointing. I feel like we're not that versatile. The only height we have is a tight end, I feel like. But again, just going back to what I said earlier, Andrew was talking about safety not being that deep. I don't give a crap about that. That's not a concern at all. Like, okay, so they go on to another safety. Like, I think the defense as a whole is good enough and well-rounded enough that an issue at safety could be easily masked. You wouldn't notice it that much. But you're talking about an offense.
I don't know.
You're talking about an offense where we have now on this one podcast and on the 3 podcasts prior to this, big shows at least, we have talked about how bad the offensive line is and how horrible the prospects of it look, how bad the wide receivers are and how the prospects of that look.
Ralph,
Derek Carr.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Dave didn't live through Tabucky Jones, did he?
He didn't.
No. Okay. But was Tabucky Jones no, I did live through that. That was Hazlitt, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he live through Jay Bellamy?
Oh, Kevin.
I don't think either of those. Yeah. Yes, I did. I lived through all of those. We had a podcast.
Warren.
Okay.
Warren. Thanks, legend.
Keep going if you want me to give you a little safety PTSD.
No, because you're comparing. You want to go? You want to do Kenny Vaccaro? No, I'm kidding. But the problem is you're comparing apples and oranges, because all of those guys did not play on defenses that were as well-rounded and as stacked and as good at most of the other positions.
Careful, you're trending towards DA praise. Careful.
Yeah. I did praise DA for defensive coaching, but anyway, my point is again, I want to reiterate this. I think we are looking at a season where, just like last year, defense is going to be fine. They're going to hold opponents to low scores. We are all going to be, we're going to be pulling. I'm telling you right now, be prepared. We are all going to be pulling our hair out at this offense, because they are just going to be inept. We are just going to be dying for points. We are going to be so thirsty for points. I am just so concerned about this. I am so concerned about us losing games, 9 to 14 and 10 to 17.
The chat is just naming random Saints safeties.
Yeah, Jason Champagne is choosing violence.
He is. Chad Coda, Josh Bullocks, Rob Kelly. That's a hate crime.
Did anybody say Usama Young yet?
You just did.
Cut that bitch off.
He got cooked in the Super Bowl.
Butterich says in the chat that DA, who's been on the podium here for a minute, said that right tackle and left guard for the Saints is still a wide open competition.
That's not good. 3 weeks out.
You can't run an offense with a terrible offensive. I'm sorry, you just can't.
I mean,
with a terrible offensive line, short receivers, and a mediocre quarterback. Sorry, none of that is screaming. 10 and 7.
Yeah, but what if Taysom Hill's in the end zone 20 times?
You're gonna you better give that ball to.
How much?
Well, I don't know.
How much?
Hopefully Kamara's like.
Do the Saints have the element of surprise, though, Andrew? Because they've run the same offense for 15 years, and teams basically knew this is what the Saints are running. They don't have Drew Brees anymore. We can just tweak it a little. Pete's not as good at calling plays. But now it's a whole new world, baby, with Kubiak. Could the Saints have like a window to start the year where they break out some really weird, crazy stuff. And teams are like, oh my God. And they can card trick themselves into a couple of wins early in the year because teams don't know what the Saints offense is going to look like.
I mean, I don't know the answer to that question, but it's all we have to hang our hopes on. Like, Clint Kubiak is basically the promise of how things are going to get fixed. It's not new players. It's not like a shiny new
Is it only me?
There's nothing on this offense that's new that gives us some promise. So it better be Clint Kubiak or we're in trouble.
COVID gave Andrew's microphone.
Was it just me? Not me.
Oh, okay. Right. I wasn't sure. I was keeping my mouth shut because I wasn't sure if it was me or if it was Andrew that made him sound terrible like that.
Me either. I was like,
because my screen is frozen for the big show. So
yeah.
I don't know. But I guess
so yeah, that's where we are.
Oh, hello.
Get your tickets. We want to see everybody there. We'll shake a lot of hands, kiss a lot of babies.
What's the link? Is it on Patreon?
Yeah, it's on Patreon. So if you're listening to this podcast, the description of this podcast will have the link. You click on the link and you buy your ticket. If you're a patron,
but for me, who's doing the podcast live and doesn't have the ability to see the description of the future podcast we're going to post, how can I go? Is it Google?
Well, I tell you what, I will
send my friends the link right now.
I will put the link. I will put the link in the Twitch chat. There you go. It's in there. Get your tickets. They're running out. And your Jim Mora stickers. We had 5 more people sign up this week. The Jim Mora stickers that you and Andrew made fun of me, but they're catching on. People want them. We're signing up more patrons. Maybe it's the Secret Life of Thomas. Maybe it's the stickers. Who's to say?
So was my was it me that
it was all you speak and spell?
Something was wrong with Discord.
The entire show crashed for like 20 seconds.
Something went wrong with Discord. I got frozen for like 30 seconds. We couldn't hear any of you for 30 seconds on stream.
Okay,
great.
So it wasn't me then.
So it was Discord. So
speaking of, thanks Alchemist for subscribing for free with Prime.
Thank you.
Nice.
We got $27 away. Make this happen, guys. Final thing, and then and I want to say this: the hotline. Listen, I know the new number is confusing, but Thomas put the new number up there. We need people to call for the hotline. I know it's preseason. You got to get into regular season form. Put up the graphic for the hotline, Thomas. So yeah, there you go. The new number 832-779-3820. Put in your phone, call in. Jason Champagne, he's choosing violence with weird safety names, and UDFA Star of the Week, Rico Payton, has a shoulder injury. It's a rough year for Camp Darlings. No one can sustain the momentum, Andrew, for more than like 3 days.
Well, do we have any messages from last week?
We don't. That's what I'm saying. We had 2 people got confused. Like the phone was dropped. They tried to make a message. It was kind of like a senior citizen trying to use a cell phone.
You guys better step up and not let us down. We need some voicemails.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? People, the hotline really works best during the regular season because people get drunk and emotional. I think during the preseason, people don't. They just sort of they're not as locked in. You know?
Yeah.
Where did you post you posted it in Twitch, the link?
I posted it in the Twitch chat. So listen,
trivia?
No, dude, yeah, Thomas, do we have trivia tonight?
No trivia.
No trivia.
By
so
the way,
let's
I was looking at the preview video of Life of Thomas, and his voice sounds different on the video than it does.
Different
when
microphone on the phone
our
than
podcast.
I have a better microphone.
It sounds deeper
right now.
and more manly on the video. I guess that's not really his real voice. His real voice is more high.
Damn, exposed.
Exposed. Some finger guns.
Jason Champagne said he called the hotline. Christina answered and said, "I know petting sucks. Will you people quit calling me? Rise up."
Jesus. Jason.
Good one, Jason.
Jesus.
And Andrew's dad promised to call this week. So Thomas, hit the take the top for finger guns. Yeah.
Do that.
Come on, people. We're $21.70 away. Make it happen.
Let's keep the streak alive, guys. We are on a 33-week donation.
No, Alfredo, Thomas did throw his voice out cutting the Jim Mora sticker promo. He said he wrecked his voice completely.
I did. That's true.
Yeah. Dave wants the link again. Fine.
Well, those of us that just joined the Twitch chat don't.
There you go. So, what's the first question, Thomas?
Eventbrite. It was on Eventbrite.
Yeah.
We didn't get
Patreon.
We didn't get any calls, but we had so many amazing questions on our Patreon Discord. Thanks, guys. First question from Saints Rabbit, the usual suspect. He asks, what was Mickey not willing to offer that was worth more than Justin Simmons signing with the Falcons?
That's a great question, Andrew.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Simmons wanted the report was that Simmons wanted multiple years, and the Saints were kind of hung up on one. He ends up signing a 1-year deal with the Falcons, so I don't think that was the issue in the end. I mean, the thing that happens a lot of times with these physicals, you know, when a team is just like, sometimes they see something they don't like, and they're like, yeah, we're not offering you more than $3 million because we're not sure you're going to get through a season healthy. Keep in mind, also, he played for Denver last year, and Saints have a lot of intel on him. You know, there's a lot of coaches in Denver that are probably saying stuff to the Saints. So, you know, when they're looking at a physical with him and he ends up not signing, I mean, I think part of it's probably the kind of money he wanted and the Saints not feeling comfortable with it. So they're obviously not going to publicly put out there, yeah, the dude's body's busted. The safeties we have are better than Simmons at this point in his career. But the vibe I got was, you know, the Falcons were willing to make a splash move and pay for it. And the Saints felt like they had intel that he's not going to be as good as his contract this year. So,
yeah, I mean, the thing is for him, even the people that like ESPN, people that are like love the move, they were kind of like, he'll work good in Atlanta because he doesn't have the range anymore, and he can be the in the box safety for Atlanta, and Bates can be the free safety more so, and cover the deep routes and stuff. But I just think it was a case of the Saints kind of really wanted Simmons, but as you always say, Andrew, Mickey Loomis, he doesn't move off the number. The man, he stared down Drew Brees, for God's sakes, in 2018. It was like, sign it or don't, you know? And it was Drew Brees. Yeah. So, like, he's not going to flinch with, you know, Justin Simmons. But it does hurt. Like, it really hurts, because the thing is, would it be one thing, Dave, if Justin Simmons is good and the Saints were wrong and he went to the Texans? But if he's good for the goddamn Falcons, like, it is going to sting all year.
Yep.
If he's good for the Falcons, I'm going to go back to what Andrew just said about the intel from the Denver Broncos and say, fuck that intel. It sucked. And we should get some new intel from some new coaches. But yeah. And going back to your question about the money, It could also not, like he said, he wanted the multi-year deal. Mickey probably wanted to only give him 1 year deal or one of his ghost year deals or whatever. It could be any number of things. He might have looked at the cafeteria and been like, "Fuck that! I can't eat in this shithole." I mean, you never know.
I'll tell you guys a story that a coach in the NFL, you can guess who that is, once told me, but potentially recently. I won't say what team it was for, but he said to me that, early in training camp, the advantage always is for the defense because offenses are more complex. It takes more time to know the playbook. He said, especially if you have a new quarterback or, that doesn't know the system as well. Like, typically speaking, the first half of training camp, it always hedges defense. So, and his comment to me was, that's how I knew we were god awful on defense and it was going to be a really rough year because the offense was shredding us the first 3 weeks of practice, the first 3 weeks of training camp. So, Justin Simmons may or may not have been a part of that.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm just I want to say, like, I know we obsess about all the Saints problems, but if you consume NFL news from other teams, they have other teams that have a ton of problems. Carolina has a bunch of injuries in their secondary.
San Francisco has a lot of injuries.
Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson looks absolutely cooked. Justin Fields is trash. They look horrible. That's bad for the Saints week 1 because they play Atlanta. I'm just saying that the Saints have problems, but there's a bunch of teams that have a ton of problems, and a lot of them are mediocre and in the Saints division. I'm just saying.
Why do you think Russell Wilson is so cooked? Like, what happened?
Because his whole game was I throw moon balls and I scramble, and he can't scramble anymore because he's old, and he never changed the way he played. Like, when you get older as a quarterback, you have to make adjustments usually, unless you're like a freak athlete, maybe like Aaron Rodgers. But like, you look at Drew in 2006 and Drew in 2020,
different player.
Different player. Like, it was a completely different offense. Like, Russell Wilson is still trying to scramble and throw moon balls, and he's kind of fat and he can't get away, and he's trash. Like,
yeah, he's trash.
And like, I don't know, just, it happened. Like, you said this, or either you or Dave said this, the Tom Brady and Drew Brees playing into their late 30s, early 40s and being good has warped people's brains, and they forget that quarterbacks, when they hit 35, 36, are usually cooked. I think it might, Dave or you said that. And it's just, I think, Russell Wilson's just having a normal career. But he needs to be good week 1 against the Falcons. Thomas, what's next?
Okay, next question from RJ Savage. He asks, if the Saints were an animal, what would they be right now? Bonus if the animal can go face to face with a panther.
I feel like this is a Dave question.
The answer is they're a wounded animal.
Despite not getting these questions ahead of time like I like, so I can craft and formulate more clever answers, I have one or two that come to my mind. I'm going to say a porcupine because they've got a good defense. Like, you're not going to go up to a porcupine and fuck with a porcupine, but a porcupine is also not going to attack you and be aggressive, and score points on you. But you're going to stay away from a porcupine. So I feel like I'm trying to think of an animal that's got a lot of defense. Yeah, something like that. I'm thinking of any kind of animal that has a lot of defenses, but they're not like scary or threatening.
Maybe an elephant.
So I went with porcupine.
Elephant might not be. No, because the elephant can get mad.
An elephant will stop. An elephant will run through your funeral.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Saints aren't trampling shit.
Oh no, there's records of like an elephant
skunk.
that like
A skunk. I like that. Who that ambush?
No, an elephant remembers shit. There's records of like elephants like going back and killing people that it remembers.
Oh wow.
Yes, all that. It's all on the same thing. Kind of the same.
Yeah.
Category.
No, I think a porcupine is a great answer. By the way,
there you go. There's your headline. There's your headline for the podcast. Why the Saints are like a porcupine. Everybody is going to have to click and listen and be like, "What the hell are they talking about? How are the Saints like a porcupine?"
Thomas, you're gonna have to redo the graphic. I apologize. We are. Come on, guys. We're like $20 away to making me drink this.
This is it. Start of a new year. Start of a new
literally
year. We're in a recession.
Oh wow.
20.00.
Andre George, 20 buckaroo donation.
I messed up and put the 20 in the chat.
Oh my god. You also messed up because you didn't donate enough and you left like 50 cents left. Idiot.
Yeah, I'm not donating 50 cents. Somebody else can do that.
So we need $1.
We're $1.70 away.
$1.70.
283. Come on, guys.
$2 basically.
2.83. Remind Ralph what the MVP wins tonight.
That's right. The MVP wins. You get to pick what I drink, but you get 2 tickets to Saints Titans Sunday at 12.
Maybe that's why no one's donating.
Your boy Allen is in the lead right now.
So like, screw it. I'm not going to a preseason game. Preseason games 12 o'clock on a Sunday or during the day on Sunday, Saturday always feel weird to me. I don't know why. But what's next, Thomas?
Aldi Marino in the chat blasting Andrew. It's like putting a $20 in the church collection plate while you say dropping 20.
That's pretty good. I deserve that. Honestly, that was like a Ralph level screw up.
Rookie mistake.
The only thing you needed was a mispronounce someone's name and it'd have been done.
Speaking of Aldi Marino, next question from Aldi Marino. He asks, if the Happy Hour political party won the election, which one of you is the president, vice president, and secretary of sexy? Feel free to use Saints players too.
Well, secretary of sexy is Kevin, clearly.
Yeah. I feel like Andrew's got to be president because we got to have a front-facing, like, because Andrew can put on the blazer and the suit, and he can look very presidential.
I can be the puppeteer behind the scenes, pulling the strings.
Like we got to have. I think Dave as vice president, it could be good, but he could also be like selling merchandise out of the Blair House and get us in trouble.
Aldi Marino, $5 taking us over the edge.
All right, so who's the MVP and who gets to pick? What do they pick?
Your boy Allen is the MVP.
You're drinking the 80 proof, buddy.
All right.
Wait a minute. Does Andrew's donation put him in the lead for MVP? Does he get to go to does he get your tickets to the Saints game?
Andrew wouldn't. He'd more. They don't
sell Vouv up in the 600 level.
He's more likely to throw a tennis match against a middle-aged woman than step foot in the terrace at the Dome. Come on.
Your boy Allen said 80 proof. 80 proof.
All right, so I'm gonna drink this. This is it.
And by the way, just
we're kind of stopping this. Whoever's in first gets to pick what Ralph drinks. You're just automatically drinking whatever is higher proof. That's the new
rule. By the way, while Ralph is drinking that and smelling it and making stupid faces, a buddy of mine who lives down the street said he's been listening to our podcast. He was forced to listen to it because he was on a flight home and he didn't have any internet, and the only thing that was downloaded on his phone was one of our podcasts, so he listened to that. And I think it was the one where Kevin was all excited about the girl he was dating when he was reporting from the back of that loading dock. Then, of course, next episode he got dumped. But my buddy asked me, he's like, is all this stuff like real, or is this like staged? And I'm like, no, this is real. He couldn't believe like he thought like we were like maybe scripting all of it, like Kevin's disaster of a life was scripted, but no, he's really that much of a
No,
Kinda
and that was the
seems
episode
scripted.
where Kevin she dumped him during the show, right?
Oh no, he heard that. Yeah, no, that was
Yeah. I love it. I love the
just
fact.
kidding. Love you, Kevin.
I love the fact that there's a large chunk of our viewers, Andrew, that they don't know what's real and they don't know what's not. It's like they step into the fun house and they're like,
It's all real.
It's all real.
Yeah, we don't script anything. Are you kidding?
You think
we have
could
time or the effort level to script things?
do you think we have? I mean, Thomas does a great job with the audio. Do you think we have time to script bits? And if we scripted it, if we had script writers for the show, the script writers hate Kevin. They hate
They
it.
really do. Yeah.
They hate it. All right, so here we go. This is
Meter
mango pineapple.
is in.
All right, let's go. Oh man, that was
that a puke?
it would have been, but I hadn't eaten anything. I hadn't eaten dinner really.
Oh come
that
on,
was
man! How could you?
That was a really weird one. I'm going to tell you why. It went down and I was like, oh, this is easy. It's mango. It's good. And it had this weird like burn at the end. And I almost had like a complete reversal of fortune there. I'm going to give it an 8, but man, I don't know. Like that one was weird. I don't like this truly. That was no. Ugh. I don't.
Alde Mourinho says next time you're gonna have to have a plate of beans before the show.
See, Andrew, I don't mind. Like I'm drinking Malort, I'm drinking Abs, whatever. And it's disgusting barbecue whiskey. Like I know it's gross, and I gotta get it down. And I know the ones that get me are the ones that I don't respect, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy, and I just throw it back, and it hits me. I don't like it. But thanks everybody for donating. We did it, and I want to remind people: DM me. I want really disgusting, horrible things. I see because Dave, people message me on Twitter. They send me emails. They're like, "Have you seen this? This is gross." I'm like, I haven't, but if you send it to me, I will drink it. So like, don't just send me pictures of it. Mail it to my house, and I'll drink it. So Thomas, what's next?
All right, going back to Aldi Marino question about the president, I'm gonna read the answer of Kevin on his request from the Saints Happy Hour Discord. So Kevin says, Juge is probably president because of his charisma and charm. A trustworthy head of hair. Ralph is the vice president because he acts as the perfect defense against a would-be assassination. You get rid of Juge. You get rid of Juge, and the cripple takes over. Dave is the Secretary of State because he's slick and can negotiate deals. I am meaning Thomas, is a Secretary of Agriculture since he likes walking in the fields. And Kevin, I'll be Secretary of Defense since I enjoy overthinking and worrying about worst case scenarios and like to focus on how the vibes are going.
I can get down with most of that. I do have a bone to pick about the head of hair thing. Meaning
I feel like Kevin as Secretary of Defense is a security risk because he's
already had one woman break into his house.
Well, yeah, but like a Russian or like some sort of like Eastern European woman could seduce him, and like he'd give away the farm.
Shouldn't I be a minister of foreign affairs
for a good Eastern European woman? I'm just saying.
He's got all of our podcast timestamps hidden in his guest bathroom and shower. Even after, never mind. I'm trying to. Anyway, but going back to the head of hair bald thing, I kind of take a little offense to that. I'm sorry, but I think bald is beautiful, and bald is a sign of maturity, wisdom. Yoda was bald, and just experience.
Yoda lived in a
not real.
So I don't. Just because you have a head of hair, that to me means you're young, maybe immature. You don't have a lot of life experience. I don't agree with the head of hair.
Yeah, War God says Dave plays golf. He'd make a better president.
Oh shit! Kevin roasted you, Dave, in the chat. Yoda had more head on his head than you, Dave.
He did. He had a few strands.
Hair do I have?
Hair do I have around my ears?
Was that the final question, Thomas?
No.
Thomas?
By the way, why wouldn't I be a minister of foreign affairs or something like that? Is that a thing? Foreign affairs? That's how it's called?
I don't know. But Kissinger was Secretary of State, and he wasn't American. He had an accent. We can make Thomas Secretary of State. All right, what's next, Thomas?
All right.
Weren't Stalin and Mussolini both bald?
Stalin?
No, I think Stalin had a big
hell,
old-
man?
Mussolini was.
Yeah.
Mussolini
Was bald.
Mussolini, yeah.
Stalin was not.
There's history of bald people in politics.
Mussolini also liked
Not
orgies.
being great, Dave. Just saying.
So
John
what's next,
McCain
Thomas?
was bald.
The king of Siam was bald.
John McCain was bald, right?
Yeah.
Telly Savalas, also bald.
No, McCain had some hair, more than Dave.
Yeah.
Jesus. What's with the
Stalin
Dave
had a
roasting?
great head of hair, but he had webbed feet. Thomas, what's next?
And a mustache. All right. Final question of the show. Saints Rabbit asks. So sports media fell.
That's right. You know who had a full head of. You know who had a full head of hair? Hitler. There you go. You don't want to be. You want to be like Hitler, or do you want to be bald?
All right, come on. Let's not talk about it. Come on. Saints Rabbit asks. So sports media fell for the false rumor that the Vikings were inquiring about Carr. What do we need to do to convince DA and Loomis to take the deal? And realistically, what would be plausible agreement if it could happen?
Did the Saints media fall for that one guy's random tweet about how?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you serious? My buddy texted that to me, and he was like, "Oh," and I'm like, "This is not real. Did you look at
that
this guy's
dude?
account?"
He's so terrible because he tweets at Saints fans.
Holy shit!
But I yelled at him. I was like, dude, your fake tweets would get more traction if you would just stop talking about the salary cap. Like he'll do a fake trade scenario or a Saints signing, and he'll be like, oh, they have to do this to create cap space or whatever. And I'm like, dude, Saints have $12 million of cap space. Like you don't like that ruined your tweet. And he DM'd me something mean. But
what did he DM you?
He's like, dude, I know about the cap. I'm like, you don't, because your tweet is completely wrong. Like it was a good fake tweet until you mentioned the cap. But whatever. Everybody wants to be 3-year Letterman, the satire account.
Scott, I was talking about Scott Erickson.
Yeah, that's the one.
Scott Erickson developing. The Vikings have inquired about Saints quarterback Derek Carr. Here's NFL.
Here's the thing. Like, whenever the Saints get rid of Carr, it's going to, whether they trade him, whether they cut him, it's going to be like a $45 million cap hit of dead money, because they just keep they sign him, they just keep pushing. They'll push it out again next year probably, unless he's terrible. So like trading Carr, whatever they do it, like Saints Rabbit, they'll be lucky to get like a po' boy and like a bag of Zaps.
It's gonna be like the Russell Wilson trade, huh? Or worse.
Yeah.
Although I don't know who the Scott Erickson guy is, but he just quote tweeted a video from Saints practice tonight, and he said it took Kubiak 5 months to do something that Pete Carmichael couldn't fathom in 7 years, referring to a Taysom and Alvin backfield together.
That's strong. That's pretty strong.
I mean, he's also tweeting about Bub Means yesterday. This guy is a Saints fan, huh?
Yeah, he is.
Must be.
He trolls the Saints fans. He needs to do better. So that was the final question. Before we get out of here,
Coach
Thomas,
better. Do your job. That's what it's about.
Also, every other hour he posted the same tweet that says, "Everybody, listen, I'm a big account. If you have less than 1,600 followers, I'm just not going to respond. You aren't worth my time. I'm on a certain popularity level. I go outside and people know me. I can't be responding to every account. If you're a fan, just stay that way."
Douchebag. Come on, man. I got 10,000 followers. I'll respond to people if they're real and they're not a bot. You know.
There's Mr. Enriquez. Thank you for coming by the store today. Love you.
Nice.
So, Thomas,
is he coming to the live show?
I told him about it. I don't know if he's signed up, but I did let him know.
11 seats left.
He's not currently living in Louisiana, so I'm not sure if he's going to be around for that.
Gotcha.
Hopefully the weather will be nice
for the
live show. We don't want any hurricanes or terrible weather to keep the people away.
Is there anything in the Gulf right now that could?
No, we're clear for like the next 10 days. So okay. we're good. We're good. So, Thomas, thanks to all the people who donated for the show. Give us a recap.
All right, thanks again to everyone for the generosity. We are on a 54 now week donation streak. Thanks to Ali Marino, to Wendell Cavalier, to Jason Champagne, to Andrew, to Who Dat Golfer, and to the MVP with $28.3 for the third time this season, who is the one and only boy Alan. Congratulations.
Thank you, boy Alan. DM me and I'll get you those Tennessee tickets for you to use. And remember, your boy Alan, DM Thomas on Discord so you can tell us what to write on the whiteboard. And if you want my son to draw a different artwork, he'll do it. He'll do it. So,
draw Jeff Duncan. Being a hoe.
Being a hoe. I like that.
So, everybody, thanks for listening and supporting Saints Happy Hour. Please go to patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour. Become a patron. Support the show. We can't do this without you guys' support. Thanks to Dave, Andrew, Kevin, who wasn't here but was in the chat, and Tomas, the best producer on earth, running the show back in Poland. Andrew, hopefully your COVID will get better and you'll be feeling better soon. Remember, kids, if you're going to support a Saints podcast, support the one that wins awards. Until next time, the bar is closed.
R.I.P. Minxie.